When you think of Thailand, some of the things you usually think about are beautiful scenery and great food. One of the last things you're likely to think about is roller coasters. It's not surprising that that's not the first thing to come to your mind, especially seeing as they only have 24 operating coasters and one under construction. One of the parks that has more than one coaster operating in Thailand is Siam Amazing Park. And in today's video, I'm going to review Siam Amazing Park and its one coaster I got to ride, Boomerang. This park has two coasters operating, one in storage and one defunct. The two coasters that are operating at the park are Boomerang, a Vekoma Boomerang, and Vortex, a Vekoma SLC with a one-of-its-kind layout. I wasn't able to ride Vortex because it was down for maintenance, and I'll go more in depth on that later when I talk about the cons. It was originally a one of two of its kind, but the other one closed, so this leaves it as the only one of its kind left. Now, Boomerang was my first Vekoma Boomerang, and I had a good amount of fun on it. I have a POV of it on my channel, so if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. Before this, I had heard Vekoma Boomerangs get quite a bit of hate, so I was pleasantly surprised by it. It also doesn't have super bad restraints. Now, let's get to the two non-operating coasters. The first one was called Grand Canyon Express. It's a Zamperla-powered coaster. It was originally set up at the park and operated for a while before the land it sat on was sold. A quick little note while editing this, I was able to find where the coaster once stood via the Google Earth timeline feature. It got torn down here, and then eventually turned into housing near the park. And something I found while making the audio for this video is all three of the coasters I've talked about so far came from a park in Brunei. The other one was called Loop the Loop. It was a Misho Rides Loop the Loop. I never saw it when I went to the park, but I would have loved to ride this. But as for non-coaster rides, they had an alright selection for a park of this size. Some of them weren't operating due to staff issues, but some of them didn't even look like they had operated in years. The only non-coaster thing I did at this park was a really crude haunted walkthrough. As for the water park, while I didn't go into it, it sounds like they put a lot of effort into it. It apparently has the world's largest wave pool. As for food options, there were a pretty decent number of them. While I don't normally eat at amusement parks, the ticket I had included a free buffet with it, so I ate at that. While it's probably one of the least favorite meals I had on the trip, it's still a pretty decent meal. But if that's not your thing, there's several other restaurants and a bunch of food stands that I didn't get footage of. As for merchandise, while I didn't find a Siam Amazing Park shirt like the other parks in Asia I went to, they had vendors with various miscellaneous stuff. And one of my biggest problems with the park and its site was the website maintenance schedule. I was planning on visiting a few days earlier, but it says both coasters were taken down for maintenance for a few days. This is odd seeing that it was July, so therefore it should be peak tourism season. So I decided to go the day after it said Vortex's maintenance would be done, but it wasn't. So, in the future, I'd recommend going a few days after it says stuff will reopen for maintenance. But overall, I'd rate my experience at Siam Amazing Park as 6 out of 10. My day was definitely hindered by Vortex not being open, but I still think that wouldn't improve the park too much, especially since there's not a huge ton of attractions. I'd only recommend Siam Amazing Park if you're in the area, you want the credits, and you're willing to spend the $20 admission. But what are your thoughts? Have you been to Siam Amazing Park? Feel free to leave your opinion of it down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, liking, sharing, and or subscribing would help my channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.